Hey, hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Today we are talking with Kelly Tyen. She is a wife, a mom of her two kids, and she's a transformational keynote speaker, author of her books, Addicted to the Climb and The One Prayer, and host of her podcast, Addicted to the Climb. We're talking about we're talking about a lot of things, but bold prayers is one of the big things I want you to come away with is how can you pray and ask God things with boldness and just watch him answer those prayers. But we also talk about prodigals and some other amazing things. So I'm excited for you to hear this episode. Make sure you share it with a friend and let's dive in. Hey, Kelly, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Super excited to be here.
So let's jump in. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am outside of Boston, Massachusetts, where I've born and raised my whole life. So we're experiencing some nice weather right now, as we discussed before we pressed record. I love the heat. It's great. I grew up an only child. And I married an only child. How about that? Isn't that rare? I know. Thought I would throw that in because it's so funny. You don't find that often. But I embraced being an only child and had two great parents that taught me well, had great values. My mom pretty much found Jesus when I was about 10. So our lives changed drastically. And I just watched her have so much faith my whole life, even though she went through rheumatoid arthritis. Not sure if you know what that looks like, but it's really an awful, disgusting, to say the least, kind of disease that attacks the joints. But my mom thrived on her faith and showed me that we are resilient people when we walk with God, and that's what we need to do, no questions asked. And that's all I saw my whole life. So which taught me to always get back up on my feet, always bounce back. You know, things happen in life, setbacks, challenges, that our faith can help us thrive and survive and get through life in a different way than the rest of the people that don't have faith. So I did grow up in a great home, and it led me to where I am today. I've had about 4 businesses that I started myself, and I was also part of network marketing for a very long time, which taught me so much about business, coming from a teacher background that I was initially started at. And here I am today, wrote 2 books. I have a podcast. My brand is called Addicted to the Climb because, as I told you, I grew up as a climber. And we're not going backwards. We're always climbing forward and higher. And that's what I do. That's what I teach. That's what I coach. And it's really exciting to be where I am today.
I love it. What network marketing company were you a part of?
Well, so as I said, I started as a teacher. I thought that's what I was supposed to be doing. And back then, 25 years ago, Mary Kay was the big company back then. And so I jumped in, and my eyeballs were open to women empowerment and jewelry and winning things and cars and money. And I was like, what? This exists? So it was an amazing opportunity, an amazing experience. And that's where it all really started with business for me.
Same with me. I started network marketing too. Yeah.
Oh, you did? So I started in Mary Kay. I then went on to Isogenics for a few years. I did really well. I liked the network marketing. I loved how I know people don't the pyramid scheme and all that, but I loved helping others feel successful and teaching them how to climb to the new levels in network marketing. So I had moved to Isogenics because I also had a fitness business for 11 years. And then I went to Modere, which I'm still connected because I use the products.
Yeah.
You know, when you love something, why not be I call it, you're just an affiliate of the company, really. I'm not building teams anymore, but so I'm still doing that. And I love it.
That's Yeah, that's funny because I was in Beachbody and it's
Oh,
great, like residual income. So like I
yes,
got paid 6 years. Like I still get checks, they're smaller now, but like I was
yes.
making quite a bit. And I was like, this
Good
is wild. I
money.
haven't done anything in like 5.
That's the beauty of building, and then it just every month, even whether it's $100 or $50, it's extra money in your pocket.
Right.
You still like the product. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what, so I love that.
Yeah. Amazing. How do you integrate your faith into your coaching practice?
So, right, my fitness business, as I told you, lasted 11 years. It really shut down right before COVID, which in hindsight was a blessing because
Mhm.
my business shut down in November of 2019
Mhm.
because two women came in, bought the gym. I was there forever, and they basically just told me, we don't want your. I was at a CrossFit gym, but my business was called Kelly's Boot Camp for Women. So I had my own program. I did my own thing for all those years. Two CrossFit women came in and said, "Oh, see ya. We don't want you here." And it was very hard, but COVID happened in March. So
Mhm.
at that point, growing up a Christian, as I told you a little bit about my background and how it led to where I am today, I knew God was calling me to use my voice and use my faith to
Mhm.
help others. I felt that was the missing piece in through all the things that I did prior to. And God was saying, this is a time where people need faith, and this is your time to help women incorporate faith into their lives. So I really just slowly started talking about my faith. And then I said, I'm going to start Bible study. I started with just doing Bible studies for women and then creating a framework around Bible studies, biblical principles. And then my one on one coaching, people started seeking me because of my faith.
Mhm.
And my podcast, all my messaging is tied into how God has gotten me here.
Mhm.
And I want to share it with the world. And I help women find their faith and activate their faith, and so they can feel empowered in their journeys in everything they're doing. I feel faith has been the foundation for everything I do. So watching women and watching their faith evolve is unbelievable.
How can we be bolder in our faith and in our business?
Oh my gosh. Well, faith is a journey, as we know, and it's really just about going deeper with God. And that's what I've done, even over the last 5 years,
Mhm.
really getting quiet and allowing God's voice to speak to you. The only way to do that, the only way to be bold in your faith is by sitting with Him and
Mm.
trying to hear His voice so you feel empowered. And the more you do that, the more empowered you'll feel in your day. And that's how you can become bolder. You end up peeling off the layers of limiting beliefs and people's opinions. I remember a time in my life where I was afraid to speak about my faith. I was like, oh, I
Mm.
don't want people judging me. I don't know what
Mm.
I'm going to say. Like, what if I step on their toes? And just getting closer to God month after month, day after day, putting the time in because I wanted to feel His peace. I wanted His joy that I watched my mother have through
Mm.
everything she went through. And I knew that was available to me and other people. If I saw my mom have that and experience abundance and fulfillment through her physical pain, her
Mm.
emotional pain, her battles that she silently faced, I knew that was for me. God doesn't play favorites, but in
Mm.
order for me to discover that kind of peace, that kind of life, I had to sit with Him and get
Mm.
quiet. And again, by doing that, all of a sudden, I had this boldness about me, and it came from Him because I
Mm.
was afraid.
Mhm.
And the more He empowered me, the more I started speaking about it and not worrying anymore about anything else because it was such a beautiful place to be.
Mm. I just want to take the second to encourage the moms of prodigals because you were just sharing how much your mom, the foundation that she laid for you. If you train up a child the way they should go, they won't depart from it. So even if your kid is like walked away for a moment, just know like if you laid that foundation, that's a promise from the Lord that they'll
Oh
come
my gosh.
back.
I'm a living, breathing example. I've been through so much. So I want to share this with you if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I have two kids. My daughter right now is 24. My son is 17. They're actually in 3 weeks, both turning 25 and 18. But when my daughter was 16, that's a tough time, right? As we know. I mean, for
I
girls,
remember myself for my mom.
oh,
So
me
sorry,
too.
mom.
I don't want to go. Oh, I would never want to go back to those years. It's so hard. I can't even imagine what it's like today with social media.
Right.
And oh my gosh. But I know what you just said can be so powerful because I didn't give up on her. She was walking away. She was, getting herself into a lot of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And I did train her up. I did pray for her. I did model what faith can look like. And I feel just a little bit of advice to mothers listening right now.
Mm-hmm.
My mother never pushed Jesus in faith on me. She showed me day after day what life can look like when you lean on God, when you lean on the Bible. Because I remember being a teenager and my mom would have her Bible under her arm all the time. I'd laugh at her. I'd mock her. Like, what, Mom, that's so weird. Why are you like always listening to sermons? And can't you watch MTV with me? Like, and she was like, she'd watch, but then she would just, slowly have it on in the background during the day. And so don't give up on your kids no matter what. They're going to push you to your limits. I was pushed to my limits. I was exhausted mentally. And today, let me just share with you, my daughter has come full circle in a way that I didn't even dream that this could happen.
Wow.
We have big things coming together, which stay tuned. If you follow me, big things are coming because my daughter and I are partnering up in a big project's coming soon. And it's amazing what God can do when you stay close to him, put him first, and really don't waver in your faith because life is gonna throw things at us. Your children walk away, your children are gonna push you to your limits, but stay faithful and he will take care of you.
Amen. Well,
Yes.
that's exciting. I can't wait to see what that's
So
gonna look like.
exciting. I want to tell everybody now, but I can't yet.
Yeah.
Super exciting.
Man, that's amazing. What are some of the setbacks that you faced, and then how have you overcome them?
Okay, where do I start? Let's see. I battled breast cancer for one, and that was 2 months prior to me opening my fitness business. So here I was planning to be this fitness girl in my community, and here I was hearing the words, Kelly, you have cancer. It was such a trying time for me. I went through all the feels, shame, guilt, disgust, anger towards God. I mean, all the things that I'm human. And however, again, it really goes back. My mom is so present in my life today. Even though I lost her, another setback was when I lost her 7 years ago. But watching her faith get her through, it really got me through my breast cancer. I kept showing up. I knew God would take care of me. I didn't dwell. I just looked ahead constantly, even though I had my moments. 3 a.m. would come and I'd be panicked. Is this going to come back? What's happening to me? Am I going to make it? I have kids. What's my life going to look like? And I had to keep my eyes focused on him at all times. And I wanted to do that. I didn't want to sit in the pity party, even though I did for a little bit. I just had to keep climbing, as I say. I'm addicted to the climb. And I knew I was opening this business. And I knew that even though I was going through this, maybe I could show other women that, our faith in leaning on each other. I feel if we can bring this part into community is key when you're going through something, your circle, people around you. If you don't have the right circle, find a new circle because those people will uplift you. I mean, when I look back on my diagnosis and the moment that it happened in, if I didn't have this boot camp, if I didn't have these women that were showing up to come to my class, I don't know if I would have made it. These women showed up for me. This is 5 a.m. I was exhausted going through my treatments, but the more I showed up, the more I felt empowered and they felt empowered. And it was a beautiful, beautiful place to be. And I'm so thankful that that was the timing when my diagnosis came, because it got me through.
Hmm.
So
We were just talking about community in the podcast I was recording prior to this one. You cannot underestimate the power of community and having the right people, the right church, the right environment.
yes,
It makes such a big difference. So if you haven't found a good church, a good small group,
yes.
like ask the Lord, hey, I need this. Would you find one for me?
That's one of my big bold prayers. You talk
Mm,
about being bold,
yeah.
and I love that because I'm all about that word bold.
Hmm.
And that's been over the last couple of years for me, praying those bold prayers. Like I used to pray prayers very vague, like bless
Hmm.
my food, bless my family, keep me healthy and strong. Listen, when you dial in your prayers, when you
Hmm.
get really bold in what you're asking God to do, you better watch out. He will follow through.
I know.
I mean, they can be a little scared because he will follow through. But my prayer, my bold prayers have been, Lord, put my name on the hearts of women that need me. Bring me the women that I need to be in their circles.
Mhm.
And I'm telling you right now, like that's how I found community. Do you remember the book? There's a book out, The One Thing, I think, or it's all about you are the five that you surround yourself with.
Mhm.
And when I first read that, I was like, that's an interesting concept to think about. And I had to really evaluate my five. But it really is a true statement. Get
Mhm.
yourself surrounded by empowering, like-minded, driven people, and you will succeed together. You'll go
Mhm.
faster, you'll climb higher, especially faith-based women, like when we come together, watch out, like, right?
Mhm.
But it's true. Community can be just the missing link. If you feel stuck, if you are frustrated, find those people.
Hmm. I want to talk about bold prayers, and you made me kind of laugh because I've been like, I thought about some of the prayers that I've done over this past year, and I'm like, Lord, crucify my flesh, and then I'm like, Lord, I'm in the wilderness, like, well, duh, like He answered that prayer.
Right? It's true. It's true. I love it though. I love it because I'm ready. When I focus on my bold prayers, well, this is all about my new book, if I can
Mhm.
touch upon.
Yeah, let's do it.
My book, my latest book, my second book is called The One Prayer.
Mhm.
And it really is about your one bold prayer.
Mhm.
Like I said, don't underestimate the power of prayer. Your prayer for someone else in yourself can create a ripple effect.
Mhm.
And I know that's true because I've seen it and I've witnessed it in my own life over even the last year.
Mhm.
Like I told you about my daughter. I mean, I've been praying for her since she was a little girl. So, moms, again, listen, I'm going to tell you another thing, a funny prayer that I pray, and I'll go back to my book because it's powerful. But I have journal spaces in my book that it's a 52-week. It's not your everyday journal. I will share a little bit more about it, but I have been praying for my children's spouses since they
Mhm.
were little.
Wow.
I think that's a prayer that needs to be
Mhm.
from parents for God to send them the right partner, the
Mhm.
right person, even if they're an infant.
Yeah.
Moms, pray those prayers
Yeah.
because I know my mom did that for me, and
Mhm.
I have the most blessed marriage ever. It
Mhm.
took a long time for me. It was a rocky road. However, those prayers matter. Don't,
Mhm.
pray for the right girlfriend to show up for your son, the right boyfriend to show up for your daughter. Those are
Mhm.
powerful prayers. But my book is all about the one prayer. And the tagline is, what if your one prayer can be the one answer to one person's miracle, even your own, right? And it's all about prayer. I write a few chapters, like 5 or 6 chapters, to get people focused on the importance of prayer, the meaning of prayer, how to pray, ways to pray, all that. I believe prayer is our communication to God. And then I have 52 weeks of journaling, which I set it up in a way that there's a Bible verse to begin the week which I picked out 52 specific Bible verses for people that just really made an impact in my life. And I wrote a page where they can really just talk to God before they start their week, what's on their heart. And then on the next page is people you're praying for. I don't know about you, but people ask me all the time, Kelly, will you pray for my mom? Will you pray for my aunt? Will you pray for my son? And I'd say yes, but I found myself forgetting to pray for those people really quickly. Like they'd ask me and an hour later, I forgot. And I hated that. I wanted to pray for them because they asked me and they're relying on my prayers. So this book was for me to be more intentional about people and things I'm praying for and to be more focused. And that's what the book is really all about in writing your prayer. So whatever your one bold prayer is for the week, this is your space, your tool to write it down, because I believe Habakkuk 2:2, write it down, make it plain, read it, and don't forget it. And then you can document your prayers and your miracles as well. So it's been an amazing tool, even for me, to use every single day and every single week. I'm going back and I'm looking at the things God is doing in my life, and it's just amazing.
So what are some of those bold prayers?
So lately, some of the bold prayers for me are, and I learned this through one of my mentors. Write this down, people. It's really, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're building a business, creating content, obviously you want people to see this, right? We're building businesses to make our message out there. So my new bold prayer comes from my mentor, and she had said at one point, Lord, and I made it up in my own words, but put my name on the hearts of people from the north to the south, from the east to the west, who need my book, who need my message, who need my coaching. I'm getting very specific in what I'm asking the Lord to do so I can create an impact in the world. And that's been my one bold prayer for the last few months.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Where can we get the book?
You can get the book anywhere books are sold. Amazon both my books are on Amazon. Addicted to the Climb is my first book, but anywhere books are sold online.
And where can we connect with you?
You can connect. My main social media platform is LinkedIn. I built a very strong community there, and it's just Kelly Tyen. Instagram, my website has everything, lots of freebies, and it's called addictedtotheclimb.com.
Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm excited for everyone who's going to get your book and for just to see like God working in some of those bold prayers. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless.